Hello friends, welcome back to the home of all things ballroom dance, and I have a special friend to introduce you today, Kelly. And guys, Kelly, he is one of the first dancers I ever saw in competition. I don't know if you know this, but I remember you dancing with, don't tell me, Victoria.
Yep.
And I believe the first time I saw you was at the Rose City Festival, I think is what it was called.
At the Scottish Rite?
Yeah, might have been the Portland Dance Festival. And he and his partner were beautiful. That was the first time I ever saw, open level, championship level dancing, and I was just mesmerized. Not really by the dancing, I think, at that time, just by those costumes, and seeing those beautiful tail suits, and those joyful looks on all the ladies' faces. Loved it. And just for my own personal edification, I have no idea. What do you do for work?
I'm retired.
Retired, okay. What did you used to do for work?
Well, I was an accounting major in college, and so all of my life I've worked in finance, insurance. Finance and insurance. Yeah.
And how many years have you been a dancer?
I started dancing shortly after college. I graduated in 1982, and I'm 63. And I was working for a CPA firm in Eugene, and I walked into an Arthur Murray studio out of the blue. I was a football player at Linfield, where I went to college, and my eligibility ran out, and I needed something to do. And so I just walked into the Arthur Murray studio. I had a brown sport coat on and some brown shoes, and they told me to go away and come back tonight. And so I did.
Did they tell you to change clothes, or?
No, but that was a really good thing for me to take lessons at Arthur Murray, and there's a lesson in it for everybody. Arthur Murray, and I suppose all of the franchise studios do this, I don't know about the others, but they required me to take all of the dances. So I didn't specialize in one thing. And over the years, that has paid tremendous dividends for me, because I'm not a Latin dancer, but if a samba comes on, I can do something. All of my life, I've been able to get on the floor for almost all of the dances. And it's because of that first experience in the franchise studio. Their syllabus required that. I didn't know it at the time, but it was really one of the best things that ever happened to me. It was just luck.
And Kelly, do you find that there is any cross-pollination in the technique between all those different dance styles?
Well, you have to remember, when I started, I was not interested in competing, and the international style of dance was not really available in Eugene. There just was no knowledge where I lived. The emphasis was on social dancing. And so a box is a box step, but a rumba can be a box, a foxtrot can be a box, a samba can be a box. Everything can be a box. And so, yeah, as a beginner, you start to see that the foot patterns are a little bit similar, but you make them look different with the styling. And what's the saying? Moves are a dime a dozen, a lifetime to make them look good.
So have you always taken in chain studios, or have you taken at a mixture of independent and chain studios?
No, I was at Arthur Murray for about 6 months. And what happened was I left there, and I was going to graduate school at the University of Oregon. And this is where I really learned to dance. I took the class, the ballroom class that they offered, and they needed leads. So I would come back over and over again. I didn't have to actually pay to go to the classes because they just needed leads. And I would dance nightly. And that's where I really learned how to dance. The franchise studios, I don't think, lend themselves too much to social dancing. They're pretty self-contained. But as soon as I started associating and doing a little bit of social dancing, a lot of repetition really paid off and really helped me learn.
So I have been to a couple of social dances at Fred Astaire. Now you mentioned you started out in Arthur Murray. Does Arthur Murray not have social dance opportunities?
They did. They had I think a weekly dance, but there was nobody but Arthur Murray people. And so everybody knows the teacher and they know the syllabus, and it makes it a little bit easier.
Same choreo.
It's not quite the heat of battle that a regular social dance might be.
I do like kind of the social dances that are open to the public because it allows dancers to better test drive how well they lead and follow, and not just like stomp through the choreography I learned a group class this month, but really enhances their balance, their sensitivity to the partner, and most important, like self-awareness of your own strengths and weaknesses. And so when did you kind of add international style to the mix? Because it sounds like there was not even any opportunity.
It was late in my dancing career, maybe the last 10 years, I would say. And I moved to Portland and there was just a little bit more knowledge. There was instructors that knew how to do it. And this is the way that I look at international dancing. If you were going to learn to play the guitar and you learned classical music first, that would be my equivalent of international dancing. It's like classical music. And just social dancing, just your open work and just your basic bronze American style social dance, it just lends itself a little bit to social dancing more than standard does. And so I was always worried, like I say, about social dancing because that's what was accessible to me. But later on, I lived up in Portland, there was a chance to do more standard and more people knew how to do it and more people knew how to teach it. And so I moved on to that in my dancing.
So at that time, did you have any competitive goals in mind? When did you kind of transition to competing?
Well, what happened was I was living in Eugene and I had gone through my experience at the University of Oregon and the franchise studio, and there began to be a trickle down of instructors from Seattle. And there were several that would come down, and I started taking a few group lessons with them. And then I started doing a pro-am with one of the ladies that would come down. And so there was my first competition. And I did that for a little while. And then I got a partner, and then I got a tuxedo, and then on, it just snowballed into more and more and more competition. But truly, being a competitor has never been my focus. It's always been quantity, getting out there and dancing every week, and it's great exercise. But I find that the people that are really great competitors are really the best social dancers. So that's who you want to hang out with, is really good dancers.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. And actually, Kelly has a good point here. Guys, I love the international style. That's my jam. But when I'm social dancing with a beginner, you know what? It is easier. I find those social dance moves just that more distance between you and the partner is more comfortable for them. They don't need to be as sensitive to my lower body, which takes a great deal more time to cultivate that. Naturally, you are gonna have a lot of nerves in your hands, and so that upper body lead is gonna be a little more intuitive initially. That's kind of a normal learning curve. And I did start with American style as well. Really for those same reasons. At that time, no one in the area was teaching international. So if competing wasn't your goal, why did you even get into it? You just thought someone invited you, or?
Well, let me tell you a story. I coached Little League baseball, just little guys. And I would always tell them, there's two ways to have fun in Little League. One is you can go out there and you can throw dirt clods and goose each other and be silly, or the second way to have fun is you can try to be really, really good. Try to be sharp and be good and know what you're doing. That's fun too. And so I've always taken the tack that even though it's just social dancing, there's no judge, there's no first place, it's more fun to be good and to try to be good and to take lessons. That's, for me, the fun of it, even though there's no end result, there's no winner. So that's why I evolved into it.
And then when you did social dancing, did you start out in bronze, or what level did you what levels have you gone through?
I didn't know a slow and a quick from center field, so I was a beginner's beginner, bronze all the way.
Okay, guys, we're beyond that 10-minute mark. I have a lot more stuff I want to learn from Kelly. This is fun for me to hear too. So I will follow up with another video, and we're going to learn more about Kelly. Okay, bye guys.